In 6-8, we're going to keep estimating, but this time we're doing it with dividing. For the first example, it asks us to estimate 160 and 8/10 divided by 2 and 5/10. And at the bottom they give us the digits that are in the real answer, and we have to place the decimal in that answer. Whenever we're dividing, I want you to work with the second number first. So look to the divisor, and let's round this one first. We're going to circle the first digit, look behind it, and think about 4 or less or 5 or more. 5 is behind the 2, so 5 or more means raise the score. We're going to raise 2.5 all the way up to 3. So that's what it rounds to. Now that we've divided the divisor, we're going to look back at the first number, 160, and we're not going to truly round it. We're more like going to round it to the nearest multiple of 3. So let's think of the multiples of 3. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. I'm going to stop after 18 because the first 2 digits of 160 are 16. And 15 or 18 is pretty close to 16. So I'm going to choose either 15 or 18. I'm going to pick 15 because it's only 1 away from 16, but 18 is 2 away. So the 16 changes to 15 because that's a multiple of 3. I know how to divide those easily in my head. And then everything else behind it will change to a 0. And I don't need what's after the decimal. So now I have 150 divided by 3, which is a lot easier to divide in my head than 60.8 divided by 2.5. So this equals 50, and I'm going to use the answer that I got for my estimate to place the decimal in the real answer at the bottom. 50 is closest to 64, so my decimal is going to go right behind the 4 right there. This second example is a little trickier, but we're going to follow the same process. We're dividing, so we're going to start with the divisor when we estimate. Circle the first digit, that's 2. Look behind it. Think of 4 or less or 5 or more. 6 is 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score. 2.6 will round to 3. Now we'll round the first number, and I want you to notice that it has a 0 in it. So this is when we need to think about our 0.50 rule. If it's smaller than 0.50, you're going to round it to the fraction 1/2. If it's greater, you're going to round it to 1. 0.65 happens to be bigger than 0.50, so we are going to round that up to 1. So now our number sentence reads 1 divided by 3. And you'll notice that we're starting with a smaller number. We're trying to divide 1 into 3 parts. So way back in chapter 3 we worked with problems like this, and we just turned it into a fraction. So 1 divided by 3 equals 1/3. In order to place our decimal in the answer, 1/3 doesn't really give us a lot of information. So we need to picture what 1/3 looks like. That is 1 piece out of 3. So that's not even a whole. That's 0 wholes. So we need to put our decimal in this number to show that there are 0 wholes. So that means putting the decimal right behind that 0. There we go. So 0 and 25 hundredths is our answer for that.